Hello everyone, and welcome to Training Tuesday, where we go through regular tips and tricks to help you build a professional life you love. And this week we are talking about a bit of a personal one. So I wanted to share about a decision that I made to take a bit of a step back from some of the marketing things in my business. And this is definitely an important honest share, because I think for me, the past month has felt a bit challenging, right? We're about a year into COVID. That in and of itself is exhausting. Vaccines feel like they're coming, and so we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and yet it's hard. Personally, the weather here in Colorado has been quite snowy, which is slowing me down. Plus, I now have a 1-year-old who is walking and doing all of these things. And so I think for me, it's been a bit of a perfect storm of all of these things combining and having me feel really maxed out. It's felt a little hard to keep up and do all the things I need to do every day with work. And so with that background in mind, I had an important, really honest conversation with my team like a week or two ago now. And we talked a bit about this and came to this interesting conclusion to take a bit of a marketing step back. And so what that means is just focus on maintenance mode for a bit, focus on serving my existing clients and doing all the things I need to do day to day without focusing on pushing myself to the next level, on, drumming up new business, on writing new content, on showing up on social media all the time. We had this conversation where it's been feeling a little heavy for me. And so we came to the conclusion, luckily, I have wonderful supportive people in my corner who are able to say, what if we don't focus on growing right now? And I think that's been a really wild, challenging thing for me to wrap my head around, because, Empowered Achievers as a business is over 4 years old now. And it is, I've constantly been focusing on growing it. And so actually coming to terms with saying, oh my gosh, maybe we won't focus on growing for a minute here, feels crazy. And it feels really, really right. And I think this is a really tough decision, right? Because I think for a lot of us, we are so conditioned to just push through. And I'm curious if this resonates with anyone else as they watch this back. But I know for me, it was really hard for me to wrap my head around, because I'm constantly focusing on pushing and driving and growing. And that's always been the narrative. And yet recently I found, I don't know that, without childcare for my daughter because of all of this, I don't know that it makes sense to focus on growing a business baby and a human baby at the same time. It's just a lot. And so focusing on, just spending more time staying in maintenance mode sounds totally right to me. But we're not conditioned to do that. I know, at least for myself, it felt really challenging, because I think we're conditioned to push through and do more and constantly say yes. And I think right now, as a whole, as a collective, we are going through something really challenging, right? We're a year into COVID, we're a year into this pandemic and it's been a lot, right? There's a lot going on. It's been a very stressful time. And so even though we're trained to push through things, I think in reality, sometimes we need to be patient and give ourselves some grace and ease, because sometimes that's exactly what we need. And so that's what I'm doing right now. For me, that step back, what that essentially means, in case you're wondering, is I will still be serving my existing clients. I'll still be working with them. I'll still be taking on new clients who reach out to me, but I'm just not going to be necessarily showing up on social in the same way. I'm not going to be writing quite as much content. I will still be sending emails to my list once every 2 weeks. We've kind of switched to more of a newsletter format. So if you want to get in that, let me know. I can add you, but I'll still be writing for that. But for the most part, I'm not going to be pushing myself to be coming up with content all the time as much, which sounds very liberating and exciting. So this is my last live Training Tuesday I'll be doing, at least for a little bit. So at least for the next month, you'll see a couple of repost Training Tuesdays coming for you. But that feels really right for me right now, to kind of take my foot off the gas a little bit and focus on enjoying the business that I have grown over these last 4 years and serving my existing clients, opposed to focusing on growing. And I'm curious if this resonates with you, because it feels really right with me right now. But, we're going through something. And so I guess I wanted to share that with all of you and give you that as my training tip for the week, is to give yourself a little bit of grace, right? I would encourage each of you to ask yourself what I asked myself the other week, which is, are you giving yourself what you need right now? Because it's a really trying time, right? Are you being patient with yourself? Are you maybe letting things just kind of simmer where they are, where they need to be? So that is my encouragement for you this week, to think about that a little bit, because it's a super, super challenging time. So I'd encourage you all to think about that. If that resonates and you are in the same boat, definitely please let me know. I would love to hear from you if this lands with you. But yeah, that is my Training Tuesday for this week, is to share with you what's been going on with me, to share with you about my step back, and to encourage you to be patient with yourself as well, because this is a lot right now. Okay, so that is my tip for you all this week. Happy Training Tuesday, and in the meantime, happy working.